Good morning, everyone. I'm a bit later as I still had to unpack my microphone. Ugh, my cough is still not. It's still there. Good morning. How are you all doing? Morning. Morning, Vinny. Morning, Miranda. Oh, I did not sleep well. So, yeah. Where is my knitting project? So, today I'm going to be working on my Tweety socks. That's not what they're called. Glühwein socks. These. And just, they feel so nice. Because you're knitting two strands together for the main part. So it feels extra nice. Good morning, Ivana. It's so good to be back. It's been, I don't know how many weeks. It's been a long time. And so this is my first live video from Scotland. Is it raining? Yes, it's raining. But it was actually surprisingly good weather the past couple of weeks. But it is colder than I thought it would be. So every day I'm wearing woolly sweaters. So I love it. So yeah. And I have to knit more. Oh, I've seen this jacket. It's called the Nomad jacket, and I really, really want to make it. But I will need about a stupid amount of yarn. So I think for my size, it's about 1,000 grams of like DK worsted weight yarn. So that is a lot. So that's 10 skeins if you're using 100 grams. It's, yeah, I'm not sure, because then it will be very heavy, right? So I'm not sure if I'll make it. Sorry, just some rambly thoughts. Yeah, so I couldn't sleep well because of the election last night. It's horrible. Like, the Dutch version of Trump has won. It's I can't even believe it's happening. So yesterday, before I could go to sleep, I needed to distract myself, and I have this, I was reading this book. I've read it before, but now, I kind of forgot the story, and I have part 2. So I want to reread part 1. It's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And I was reading it until it was very late, and I was finally exhausted enough to just go to sleep and not think about things. So yeah, that's why I look so tired. Yeah, but how are you all doing? What are you making? Have you been crafting a lot the last couple of weeks? I'm sure there are lots of projects that I missed, so do tell me about them. Maybe you have a favorite project from the last couple of weeks. Let me know. Because I am finally able to, I finally have access to all of my craft projects again. Which is nice. Before we moved, I had to stash everything away. I had to pack as much as possible. And so that also meant looking at a project and thinking, am I going to pick this up somewhere in the next 2 or 3 weeks? No, it can go in the box. So I really had just like 2 or 3 craft projects. I had my granny square blanket, I had a cowl from my book, and I had the dollhouse project. And I can't work on the same thing for long, so I got really bored. So now I'm really happy that I can work on all my things. Vinny is working on her knitting notes today, but I'm also working on a top-down sweater. Is the knitting notes, is it a pattern or is it just your notes? I might have to Google it, knitting notes pattern. I'm not sure. But I'm also working on top down sweater. Yay! I've read that book. Yay! I have a Christmas sock wool and use the sock along pattern to make socks. Oh, that is so fun! I can't wait to make more socks. And my friends and I were planning a advent calendar. And I'm really excited. Because that will mean I have lots of mini skeins, which I usually use for socks, but I might do something else with it. But just minis, this advent yarny minis, just screams Christmas to me. And oh, just your notes, okay. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. So I don't know, I might make something else than socks. I might make a cowl. Could be nice. Okay, I have to write that down. Okay, I think that will be really fun. Okay. So yes, this is my craft room. Let's see. We have we have a kind of wall closet over there. And right now one side is open. There's this pop-up on my screen. No, I don't want virus scanner right now. So I can close both walls and it's just like a mirror. And the rest of my stuff is here, and yeah, it's a lot. And here I can just see outside. It's lovely. It's a lovely big window. And because it rains a lot, so because it is very cloudy a lot of the time, it's actually very nice lighting. So that's great. Ivona just finished her Gauchon cardigan. I really have to look that up, how to say that. And now I've cast on for a skirt and Mimungu sweater by Titi. Oh, Titi looks like wait, what was it? Mimungu sweater. Oh, that's really pretty. I love the skirt pattern that was going around for a while. It was this stranded colorwork skirt. I think it was called the Folly skirt. It's beautiful. So yeah, I have to learn how I can show you my browser, like how I can screen share. I've seen another YouTuber do that, and I just think it's really fun because then you can browse Ravelry together. And I know it's possible, I just haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, but now I am I'm trying to organize my craft room, but I don't have all of my furniture. Um, so I have this closet now, but I used to have four IKEA closets and then one long closet. I mean tall. So I used to have five, and now I have one closet. Hi, Serena. Morning. Um, and of course, I also have the wardrobe closets, but they're kind of impractical at the moment. Um, so yeah, I have all of this stuff and nowhere to put it. So I think I'm just going to have to pack a lot into boxes again. Um, Stuff I don't think I will use for the next 6 months, but it's just hard. Serena says I'm busy with heat. That can't be right. From your book, I knit the call in 9 days. Yes, I saw your cowl. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, you mean hat, I think. Yes. um, oh, that's great. Yeah, I loved your color combo. Yeah, I love seeing all of the projects. That's really like my happy moments this month. And I'm putting them all onto Ravelry right now. I've just uploaded one pattern to Ravelry, so that people can create their project pages on there. So yeah. But first, of course, I'm always distracted by another project. So first, I want to finish these glue line socks. This is my first pattern with the shadow wrap heel, which is a really fun heel. I've wanted to incorporate it in a pattern for a very long time, and now I finally have. I'm always doing the German short row heel, which is very similar actually, and it's still my favorite. But I wanted to have a little bit of variation. Is the time 10:24? Yes, it is. So it's so it's an hour earlier, I think, than where most of you are. So usually I would start this at 9 a.m. European time, which is 8 a.m. here. And the past couple of days with my cold and whatever, I've not been able to get up before 9 a.m. So I thought that's not gonna happen. So yeah, I started the live stream at 10 a.m. today, and then who knows for next week. I'll have to see. Yeah, and then so next week I'll be around for a live stream, but the week afterwards I'll be in the Netherlands with my mom. I'll be in the Netherlands for 2 weeks, and so I probably won't be able to do a live stream then, but yeah, because I'll just be around family. It's my mom's birthday, and we are going on this knitting cruise from December 11th to December 15th, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's the yearly kind of small holiday my mom and I have planned. And it's just really fun. And this year we're going to Germany. So we're taking the boat from Rüdesheim to Koblenz. And we stop on the way and see lots of Christmas markets and a cruise live stream. Yeah, I don't have that much mobile data, Vinny. I can't do that. But that would be really fun. Yeah, so we finally have internet here since last week. So yeah, it has just been, the past couple of weeks I've not really been working. I've only been setting up things for our home here, such as, buying a vacuum cleaner and buying a microwave and setting up all of our, recycling taxes stuff. Yeah. Getting a national insurance number and all things like that. I still have to register my company here. But yeah, everything. What's the saying? Alles op zijn tijd. Everything on its own time. It's probably not right. How is Momo doing on the trip? She was doing really good. I was really surprised. Before we went, like a couple months before, I was like, okay, how are we gonna get Momo over there? Are we gonna take her in the car, and drive through the tunnel, and it will be around 16-hour drive, but maybe we can make it really comfortable for her on the back seat. Is she there right now? No. We thought, okay, well, that's option one. And then we thought on the plane, and we thought, then we would want to get like a sleeping pill for her, but the vet would not allow us to get a sleeping pill for her and for us to give it to her ourselves. It would only be allowed to give it in the vet's office. And I think it wouldn't work for the whole day then. And I kind of thought the boat was out of the question. But it turns out that they had pet cabins, so your pet could stay in the cabin with you. They just have a couple pet cabins on each boat, on each ferry, so you're very lucky to still be able to book one. And it was great. I mean, in the car to the ferry, she was like, mowing all the time. She doesn't like being in the car, or maybe she thinks we've just put her in there and she's not coming out again. Every time it's the same. And but when we got on the boat, she was really curious and exploring the cabin. We even had a window so she could watch the sea. She could see the ocean. I mean, how many cats have seen the ocean? And then the day after, we still had to drive about 5 hours, but she was totally fine in the car. I think because we drove, 2 days after each other, that she still remembered, like, oh, okay, they've put me in here right now, but I know they're gonna take me out again, and so, I don't know. I think she kind of remembered from the previous day. And then here in our new house, of course, it's it took a couple days for her to get used to it, but she's fully used to it now, so that's really nice. And they have exactly the same cat food here. Because, yeah, she's very peculiar about what she eats, like very particular. And we've already found a cattery where she will stay when we come to the Netherlands. She's never been in a cattery before, but yeah, there's always a first time for everything. Okay. Yeah, so I'm slowly getting back into my rhythm. And I've already filmed a couple of clips from like Inverness and the area, and of our ferry trip as well. So I think I'm gonna have to do a actual podcast episode soon and like incorporate those little clips. And yeah, yesterday I went exploring because this week all buses are free here in Inverness. To, kind of just stimulate people taking the bus, and with the shops in the city center that they get, more customers, because everyone buys online this week with Black Friday. So by making bus travel free this week, they wanted to stimulate, the actual physical shops to get more customers as well, which I think was a very nice tactic. And of course, it's nice to explore. So yeah. So because bus travel in a foreign country is always I don't know, it takes some getting used to, because not all of the buses are like, it's not very well explained. Like on at the bus stop where I had to get on, it did not say which buses would pass by. So up until the bus came, I was doubting, like, am I in the right place? Am I like what am I doing here? And then it arrived just like 2 minutes too late. So of course I was like stressing. And then when you're in the bus, even if you remember, like, oh, I have to be in here for 12 stops, okay, but the bus doesn't stop at every stop. So then you cannot count, and it doesn't. Oh, these are all luxury problems, right? But yeah, bus travel, it's just not very clear. So I would just be in the bus and have Google Maps open on my phone, and then I could see where we were, and I knew, okay, I have to get out somewhere here, so I'll push the button now. Yeah. But it was fun. Yeah, Inverness is a really nice city. There have also been some Christmas markets here, but I don't know, the Christmas markets just didn't really feel like Christmas markets, because it just seemed to be a regular market, and there were a couple people selling Christmas decorations, but it was like mostly soaps and brownies and fudge and ciders and whiskey and gin and tea towels, and jewelry, and I get, you can buy all of that as a Christmas present, but I didn't even think there were Christmas decorations, so it just didn't feel like a Christmas market to me. Maybe because there was no glühwein. Did you find yarn shops already? Well, there was a yarn shop here in Inverness, which I did visit last year, but it closed somewhere this year, because it was run by a family, and they had a couple of young family members. They recently had kids, and they wanted to spend more time with the kids, so they closed the shop. So that's sad. There is another yarn shop in Nairn, which is about 30 minutes away. And I'm sure I will visit sometime soon. But if it was in Inverness, and I could have taken the bus there, or I could have ridden my bike there, or so yeah, it's a shame. But there is a hobby craft, which is like a big craft store with like all kinds of stuff. If you're from the Netherlands, it's like Pipo's, but like huge. So they would have styrofoam wreaths that you can decorate for Christmas. They would have little wooden model making stuff. They would have kits to make small cars. Oh, what's the word? Model making? No. Miniature thing making, and they would have like pens and lots of different papers and paint, and also knitting and crochet stuff, and sewing stuff. But it's like they have a little bit of all of the crafts, which is still fun. It's just not that they usually only have acrylic yarn or something like that. Not that I need more yarn, but yeah. I did just order yarn yesterday, and I know you're gonna look at me and like, really? But this was really a type of yarn that I did not have, and I really need to make something with. One of my sisters-in-law is going to have a baby next year, so I'm going to be an aunt for the very first time in May. And she has asked me to make some stuff. I don't know what the word is, like kraamzorg, like not maternity care, but like, I don't know, yeah, kind of like the people who prepare you for having a baby. They had all this kind of information for her, and they were really being very positive about wool and silk products for the baby. Like to have a woolly blanket on the changing table, so you're not putting them on a cold cotton, cloth. We used wool like for such a long time, and then suddenly it got the it kind of got the stamp of, this is itchy, scratchy, we don't want to use it anymore. But now, of course, you have such lovely soft yarn. And they recommended a wool and silk blend, because I don't know what it was. The silk also had like good properties. I haven't really read the whys, um, but they had a whole list of things that would be nice to have for your new baby. So my sister-in-law asked me to make that for her. So things like a tiny shawl or a blanket, just a square blanket. I think it's just like a baby wrap or something. I'm gonna make that, and I'm probably gonna make a small baby hat. And there were also things like leggings and sweaters on there, and socks. But I don't know, because those things really need to have the right size. So I'm not sure if I would be able to do that. I don't know. I might just make the 6-month size. I don't know. I'll make the shawl and the little hat first, and then see. So the yarn I bought is from West Yorkshire Spinners, and it's called Exquisite 4-ply. 4-ply is kind of the sock weight. It's the name that they use for that here. And it's 70% wool and 30% silk. Yeah, and they had really nice colors. So I'm really looking forward to knit her something from that. Yeah. It's it's the first baby in our family, which is exciting but also weird. Yeah. And I think the yarn is actually going to be arriving today or tomorrow already. Serena says, babies grow up so fast, you will be busy knitting socks every time. Yeah, I didn't do it for my nieces. Yeah. So I was thinking, I do have a pattern, the tornado toes, which is a sock pattern with no heel, so that it can kind of grow with the baby, with the child. And I don't know if that's maybe that's something I want to look into. But on the other hand, the hat and the shawl, she's probably not going to need to wash that so much. And with the socks, you do. And yeah. But then I could get a machine washable sock yarn. Yeah, people have asked me so many times for patterns for babies and children, but I might do that someday. But I just don't think they are knit worthy. I'm knitting this for the parents. It's because I like the parents so much. But kids, they grow out of it, and maybe they don't even appreciate it. I don't know. Hi, good morning, Nicole. Okay, I have to do something here. Right. Oh, have a great day, Ivona. See you next time. Yeah, so I'm just, yeah, I'm gonna organize my yarn some more later today and work on this. I need to get to the heel part so I can film the tutorial for that. So yeah, but it gets dark really early here now. Like after 3 p.m. I don't think I can film tutorial videos anymore. Kids don't know the difference between normal and store-bought socks or handmade, yeah. And maybe I speak for myself, it's easier to wait if they show interest, if I make them something. If not, it's okay. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. I think, I mean, on the other hand, if kids grow up with handmade stuff, then they might appreciate it more. It's like, you know, what kind of humans do we want, you know, if you want to get really philosophical about it. But, you know, on the other hand, I also don't think they appreciate what they have. But does it mean that we shouldn't even give it to them? I don't know. But I do think the blanket will be nice. I ordered 3 colors. One is like, you know, pure cream white. One is like sunshine yellow, beautiful. And another one is kind of like a light blue, but not super light. Kind of like the toes on this sock. So white, yellow, and blue. And you know, I don't know yet if they're gonna have a boy or a girl, but I think white, yellow, and blue is nice for, you know, every kind of baby. And you know, I know what kind of colors the parents like, so so yeah. Serena says, I knit with them around me so that they see me make stuff. But I would rather spend my money on something they like than putting the time and effort in, and they not wear it at all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also I'm not making any gifts this Christmas. You know, I've just not had the time for it, but I also, you know, I've made some gifts over the year. You know, I've been finishing so many projects this year, such as the really bright colored granny square blanket. Uh, it was from a couple months ago. Um, and I was finishing it up, and one of my other sisters-in-law, she walked past, and she was like, oh, "Those colors!" And then I just, "Do you want to have it?" So, yeah. If they compliment what I do, they might just get what I'm making. Because I love making blankets, but I have so many blankets. I can't possibly use them all. Talking about blankets, I'm really going to get back into the colorwork sampler blanket because I still have to write up the border pattern. And it's been too long since I've promised that. I mean, I don't think anyone is at the border yet, but I just want to have it in the pattern and, complete it. I have to say, knitting with this tweed yarn is really fun, but sometimes I'm obsessing too much about where the tweedy bits go. Like right now, I'm knitting them and they kind of happen all on top of each other. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. I'll just finish this side. So the last couple of rounds, they've kind of just been stacked on top of each other. And I was just, usually I would have noticed it earlier, and then there are some solutions that you can do, which I've now done one of them, so I should be able to fix it now. But still, I think I'm too much of a control freak to really knit with this yarn and enjoy it. I want the mittens from your book to make the set complete, but for some weird reason, if I need to split and increase for the thumb, yeah, I don't get what I'm doing. It makes sense. I don't get what I'm doing. It makes sense to me. Why? But doing it. So yeah, so the increases. Do you mean the increases or the split? because they don't happen at the same time. It's like the mitten pattern. I knit one of the mittens in just one color the other day. And which might help. It might help to just get your mind around the construction. So then when you're doing it with a pattern, with the colorwork pattern, that it kind of still makes sense. Yeah, that's alright. Je hebt je eerste herhaling een kleurbrei gedaan, dan moet je aan de ene kant meer aan de ene kant voor de duim zetten. Yeah, so you knit in colorwork first. Like, I don't think I have an example here. So yeah, you knit a little bit in colorwork first, and then on one side you increase for the thumb. Yeah, that's correct. And sometimes you can read a pattern through and you're like, I'm not getting this at all. But if you're following the pattern, like usually it will click into place when you're actually knitting it. Same with some board games. Like sometimes you read the instructions for a board game, the rules, and you're like, this doesn't make sense. Let's just play it and it'll sort itself out. And it usually does. And sometimes you get one of the rules wrong or multiple rules wrong, but you're still having a great time playing the game. So yeah, what I'm saying is just give it a try. Andere kant voor het patroon verder kunnen doen. Yeah. Yeah, so on one side, on the thumb side, you have a break in the pattern because you're doing the color work around here, and then here there's no color work. But it's fine to just knit. You can still make a very nice matching set by knitting the mittens in one of the colors, or maybe do the ribbing in one of the colors and then the rest of the mitten in one of the other colors that you're using for the cowl and the hat, and you can kind of give the whole mitten construction a try. Because it's totally possible to just do it on with one color at a time. You just use the smallest needle size. The needle size that you would use for the ribbing, you just use it all the way through. I will not give up. Yes. I know you won't give up. Yeah, you're always very persistent. That's great. see how much more I have to go. It's quite a bit. I can just count the tweed rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15 tweed rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's new, and I always think with a hobby, if it's not going to work the first time, we can take it out and do it again. Practice makes perfect. Yes, exactly. And it's okay to do something badly. Like sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to get it right the first time, or for everything to be perfect. Especially if, let's say, you're very good at crochet, but you're not good at knitting yet. And there are people who can't handle the fact that they're really good in one thing, but then have this whole learning curve for a different hobby, which totally makes sense because it is not the same thing. Oh, I can hear my voice going. So, if you're good at one craft, it doesn't automatically mean that you're gonna be a natural at another craft. And sometimes it's fun to take the pressure off and just do things badly. Like, for instance, when I was learning how to spin, I had this whole spinning course, and it was going really well. It was going quite well, but then I remember the teacher saying something to me, she was looking at a ball of yarn that I had done, and she was like, "Oh, seems like you were just wanting to get this over with, right? You didn't really try for this one." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I know what she meant. Like, it was not very thinly spun, but it was a lot of fun to do it that way. But anyway, so I got this in my head that I should only spin very thin yarn. And after a while, I just kind of lost the motivation to take my spinning wheel out and actually spin yarn. Until at some point I just said to myself, no, you're just going to spin. You're going to spin as badly as possible, and you're just going to get back into it like a palette cleanser. So I made this very thick yarn, and it was actually really, really fun. I think it's right behind me. Yeah, it's in here. I used it in a cardigan, which I've now unraveled, but let's see. So for my spinning teacher's standards, this is not spun well. But it was really fun to spin like this, and it got my enthusiasm going again for spinning, which I think is also very important. And afterwards I spun a lot of good yarns, but it's just it's art yarn. I just think it's unhelpful to, as a teacher, say this is good, this is bad, you've not paid attention, or you're not doing it right. For me, a craft, the main part is that someone's having a good time. So I think there aren't any rules for craft. So a lot of the time during workshops, for example, I'll have I'll show how to do a decrease, and say it is the slip slip knit decrease, which in the Netherlands we weren't really taught the slip slip knit decrease. We were taught the slip one, knit one, and then pass one stitch over. Oh, thank you, Nicole, for stopping by. Have a great day. So instead of one decrease, where we're taught a different one, but it's basically the same, and even where am I going? I mean that if someone can't wrap their head around a certain decrease, just do another one. It's not like the knitting police isn't going to look at your work and say, hey, you've done a different decrease than the pattern. No, who cares? If you're knitting a sock pattern and you don't like the heel that's in there, use a different heel. If you don't trust the stitch amount, well, maybe do trust the pattern. But if you want to customize it, go ahead. So yeah. Okay, how can I do this? Serena says, I posted a picture of my first project on Instagram. You mean your first project ever? I don't even know if I still have my first project. I don't think so. Oh, that's fun. I'll have to check it out. My first project ever was a a swatch that I thought, okay, let's make it longer and turn it into a scarf, and it was the most hideous scarf from acrylic yarn from the Zeeman with raspberry stitch, because I did not like to just do the knit stitch or the purl stitch. I wanted something special, so I chose the raspberry stitch, which is kind of like baubles all over. And of course I got it wrong, so my scarf was all wonky. So I think I threw that away. But yeah, it was fun. It's fun to look back on your previous knitting projects and think, wow, I've come a long way. I still have it. It lives in a box in the living room. it's really sunny now. It's really nice. Like before we moved here, we thought the weather, you know, no, we didn't think the weather would be very bad. It's just like people always say that, but then whenever we're here, the weather is actually really good. So that's nice. So it says made it 4 years to go on a family holiday. Oh, 4 years ago, yeah. For my parents' 40th wedding anniversary. Oh, that's nice. I actually have so much left of this tweed yarn. I thought I was gonna use a lot for these socks, but I still have so much left of the first ball, and then I also have the second ball. So yeah, I really don't know what to make with it. Maybe a hat, but yeah, maybe a hat. That would be fun, I think. Because I don't think I have enough for a scarf. So yeah, I hope that next week that I can show you a craft room that is less messy. I am looking on Facebook Marketplace like every day to see if, there's this maybe a chest of drawers or another cabinet or something that will fit here, and like it's not too massive, so that I can easily move it again to our next house, because it's just a bit difficult, because I know that this is not going to be our permanent home. We are just renting this home. And we want to get a mortgage somewhere next year. So everything that we buy now, I just know, we have to move it again. So we have to take into account, like, okay, Is it easy to take apart? And also, like, will it fit in our next home? It's, it's kind of difficult, but also I can't not get more furniture because I can't live out of boxes for the next 6 months, or maybe it will be longer. Yeah, so I'm just looking on Facebook Marketplace every day, and there are some fun hidden gems here and there. And what's also fun is that here most of the furniture is actually wood, and in the Netherlands most of the furniture is like, spanplaat is like wood pulp squished together. Yeah, so it is really good quality here. It is also more expensive, but then I think, it's actual wood, so it's worth it. And the nearest IKEA is 3 hours away. So yeah, usually I would just think, if we're really missing something, a trip to IKEA, but it's really not that easy here. But I also think it's really fun. And we finally have our bed frame since 2 days ago. So yeah, that has been really nice. We did have a nice mattress, also new, but it was just on the floor, and it really makes a big difference to not have your mattress on the floor. Alright, I am going to call it a day for this live stream because I feel my voice just going away. And I do also want to record a tutorial video later today, so I still need to save my voice. Yeah, and also it's almost lunchtime here. I mean, it's already been kind of lunchtime in the Netherlands, but yeah. Anyway, I hope to see you all next week. I hope to be here again on Thursday, maybe a different time. I will let you know, either in the Facebook group or on Instagram. Thank you all so much for being here, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye, Vinny. Bye, Serena. Bye, Miranda. Thank you. See you next time.